Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The People Software Engineer. I'm Bhavana Hindupur, and in this channel we talk about communication and interpersonal skills for software engineers. In this video, I'm going to be talking about networking at the workplace, and by networking I mean making connections with humans, not computer networking. So as software engineers, we tend to avoid anything that takes us away from writing code, and I get it. That's exactly how I used to think, especially the term networking used to completely gross me out. And I used to think that it's some sort of make fake connections type of thing where you go and you trick people into believing that you want them to be your friends and you're actually trying to take advantage of them. I avoided all kinds of corporate events and advice that told me to go network with people. And I used to think that I have friends, I have contacts within my team. I don't need to specially go engineer any contacts with people outside of my team or outside of my organization, outside of anything that my work currently needs me to do. I think I avoided networking proactively for a long time up until I was a mid-level engineer. I was stuck at that level for a really long time. I've been very vocal about it. And I was desperate for a promotion to senior engineer. And this happened right after I was rejected a promo application. And then one of the reasons for the rejection was that I didn't have enough votes for saying yes or supporting my promotion. And actually, one of the reasons I didn't have enough yeses was because I struggled to find that number of people who who were even ready to say either yes or no. Basically, what it meant was that not enough people were involved in what I was doing. Not enough people were informed of my work. So they didn't have enough information to either say yes or no. If I had enough, my theory is that if I had enough people that were informed of what I was doing, that were kept in the loop, or if I took the pains to kind of go out and actively work with people, help solve problems for them, I'd have enough voices saying yes, and the promo rejection wouldn't have taken place. So at this point in time, I was really desperate to do anything that it would take for me to get to that senior engineer position. And then I started looking into networking. I said to myself, there's this thing that I haven't ever tried before. There's nothing to lose. My promo application was just rejected. It's not like if I work 10x hard next quarter, it'll be magically approved. So I decided to look into it and see what I could do. Before I go into details about how I started networking with people and what sort of difference it made for me, I'd like to kind of sell you on why any software engineer should be proactively networking regardless of what level they're at. When you have a strong network of people that you have a meaningful relationship with, I'm not going to call it friendship necessarily, but I'm not going to say that it's something fake either or on the surface either. There are ways to form meaningful relationships at work that are about work, but they're not fake or disingenuous. When you have a strong network, you have a pool of people who would be willing to do things like review your work and give you honest advice, honest feedback, so that you could then use that feedback to improve your work. And this work could be code or designs or architecture, whatever you're producing as a software engineer. It could be a talk you were giving and you're getting honest advice about how you can improve it. Could be a mentoring relationship. So they could be helping you with giving you career advice, helping you grow, etc. If it's just someone you know or you hang out with, someone you admire maybe, someone who is good at something that you might not be that great at, you can always steal ideas for growth. You can see how they are improving themselves, how they are growing themselves. When I make connections, when I network with people, I always ask them what books they're reading, because that's my favorite way of kind of learning new things. So reading lists is something I like to share. I always ask them for how they stay productive, because productivity is also another area of passion for me. So anything that is relevant to you, right? You could learn, for example, debugging tips or whatever, anything that they're doing. It's possible that they're doing something better than you. And more often than not, you are able to learn stuff from people when you're just keeping in touch with them in general. When you have connections, they help you connect with more people. So if you're looking for opportunities to move teams or move jobs, you have this ready network of people you can rely on to ask for any open opportunities that you can take up. When you have a contact in another side of the company, someone from a different part of the business, a different organization, talking about when you keep in touch and when you talk about each other's work, it helps you both to become more well-rounded in your understanding of the business of the company, and it inevitably improves the quality of the work that you produce. When there are questions within your team about something external to your team, maybe you have to take a dependency on a different service, etc. If you already know someone from that team and you've already been having conversations, your team will really appreciate that you're bringing information from this other team in a more efficient manner than if they had to go make contacts and start talking to that team and establishing contact in a formal manner. Hopefully now you're sold on the idea of making a network, and in the next section I'm going to be talking about how you can actually go make this network, because build a network is not really helpful advice, and I'm going to talk about how I do it, and hopefully you can get some ideas and see what works for you. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how I build and maintain my network at the workplace. So the first step would be to identify who to connect with, identifying the people. The obvious choices are people from your own team. If you feel like you're not very well connected with someone on your own team, you should definitely start there. But if you've already got your team covered, you should start networking with your neighboring teams. By neighboring teams, I mean that the teams that report to your manager's manager. So go a couple steps up in your management chain and then come back down and see what other teams exist in your area. It's very likely that they are facing similar problems, similar challenges that you can talk about how you can solve together. And just being aware of what's going on around your team really will help you identify what problems to solve, or maybe consume any of the solutions that these teams have produced within your team. It will help you become more well-rounded in the solutions that you build for your own team as well. So your team and the neighboring teams are an obvious choice. So when you've covered this, start thinking about your management chain. So in your management chain, I'm sure you're already speaking to your manager regularly. If you aren't, you should speak to them at least once a week or maybe once in 2 weeks. Stay away from project updates and speak to your manager really about what you want to do with your career, where you want it to go. Ask them about the types of problems that they're trying to solve for the team, for the organization, and see how you can make yourself relevant, how you can make that change for them, make that impact for them. Speak with your skip level manager and their manager. That is usually the kind of level I go to. So I speak to my manager, their manager, and my manager's manager's manager, so 2 levels above. And that gives me an adequate amount of context of what we're doing as an organization, what our priorities are, what we're trying to accomplish in the quarter, in the year. So that helps me set my own goals as well, so that it can align with what the leadership team wants. If your goals align with your management's goals, you have a better chance of being promoted. You have a better chance of having higher impact work than if you don't do it. So this is about your management chain. The next type of person that I like to network with is people who are admired around my sister teams, the organization, etc. And talking to these people usually helps me with understanding how they grew in their career, you just get loads of ideas, loads of inspiration about what you can apply to your own career, the types of books they read, maybe tutorials they follow, or maybe even just productivity tips. I know I've said productivity many times. I'm really passionate about it. But you just get ideas about how to grow in your own career by speaking with these people. You can also speak to them about the problems you're having, so that they might have some suggestions. They might give you some suggestions about how you can solve them in your space. If I'm going to be working with someone in a future project, I take the time now to reach out to them and say hi, make sure that they know who I am, I know who they are. It just makes working together a little bit easier. Once you've identified the people you want to network with, you want to make that first connection, have that first meeting. And during this meeting, what you want to talk about is your background. Where did you start in your career? What are the key projects you worked on? What shaped you as an engineer? What are your passion areas? What do you like about your career? What you don't, etc. And ask them the same questions and try and show genuine curiosity, right? We're not doing this for fake reasons. We want to understand what makes the other person tick, so that if you have any opportunities that are relevant to someone, if someone is looking to be promoted to a certain position, they're looking for certain types of opportunities, you can always bring those opportunities if you know what they want. It always helps to have an elevator pitch prepared, so that you don't ramble when you introduce yourself. It always makes a good impression. When you're speaking with whoever you're trying to network with, genuinely proactively look for opportunities to help them first. It's always better to be in a position where you're able to help someone before you're asking them for help. So talk to people way before you need any help from them. Make sure that you're addressing any help that they need, and trying to solve their problems. And then when it is time for you to ask for help, don't hesitate to ask for help. Tell them what you need, and if they aren't able to help, then you've lost nothing. But don't be in a position where you're feeling super awkward. You don't want to ask them for help. It's fine. I think everybody's looking for opportunities to give, just like you are. And I'm sure if they aren't able to help you, if they don't have the bandwidth to help you, they will tell you so, and they might even point you towards the right people who are able to help you. So it always helps to communicate your needs when you do have them. So now you know how to identify people, what to talk to them about, how to help them, and how to ask for help. The only thing that remains to be done is to keep this thing going, right? You need to keep your networking initiative going, and you need to do it throughout the year. The way to do this, or the way I would do this, is I have a prompt for my weekly planning sheet where I think about who I'm networking with this week. For me, a reasonable number of people I like to connect with every week is 2 people per week. So these 2 people could be people that I'm meeting for the second or the third or the fourth time. It could be people that I'm making a connection with for the first time. So it's either people who I already know or new people that I'm trying to build a relationship with. But I try to speak to 2 people every week without having anything concrete to discuss. We talk about our day-to-day work. We talk about the problems we're having, and more often than not, we're both able to suggest solutions to each other. Hopefully, all of these tips give you some direction as to how to start networking and how to keep it going. And hopefully it's a little bit better than you need to get out there and network. If you have any more suggestions on how to network, I would be so glad to hear them. Please leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.